Okay. Bye.
She was still talking. Bye. I am so weirded out by people who don't say goodbye, and it's oftentimes on television. People will be talking and then they just hang up.
I'm totally aware of it. I'm oblivious.
You've been influenced by television.
I don't even watch it.
Sure. Okay. So the last question that I asked you was, what are some of the misconceptions that engaged couples might have? And you kind of alluded to, oftentimes they have rose-colored glasses or unrealistic expectations, and that it's best if, they really understand themselves and understand the other person, which obviously leads to grace for the other person, grace for ourselves, which is always a good thing in marriage. But one of the things as a single person myself that I feel like there's been this shift of people wanting to be so honest about, hey, marriage is hard. You have to work at it. Like, it's not easy. Plus, we are seeing, as you said, so many of our friends getting divorced or infidelity or whatever. Now I feel like one of the contributors to the delay of marriage is the fact that we are in this place where, like, okay, I don't hear any reason why I would want to get married. I mean, I know that I want to be in a relationship with people, but all I hear is it's hard. People get heartbroken, unfaithful, all that stuff. So why would you tell someone like me why I should have hope for marriage?
Good point. I think simply saying it's hard is kind of like, is raising kids hard? Yeah. But man, it's one of the greatest things we've ever done in our family. So, making something hard does not make it bad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is that, there are a lot of benefits to marriage from both the theological, practical, relational, and marriage is, in America today, the number one measure of happiness. So the fact is that people who are in good marriages, it has tremendous benefit, but you can't take it lightly. And I think while we don't want to scare people, there ought to be a kind of a sense of, I need to soberly approach this.
Yeah.
But I think what society has done is it's taken all of the support systems away from marriage. It's cheapened it, and of course now we're seeing all the destructiveness of it. And so what happens then is people start getting a little bit more resident to kind of jump in.
Yeah.
I don't think the problem is marriage. I think the problem is partially our society, partially the whole transition we're going through right now about what marriage means, what it is, and how we even get married.
Yeah.
Because we've lost the normal ways of mating in our society, and everything's starting to break down, and it's getting harder.
So it's almost like there's been a pendulum swing to the pain, and it's the pain, not the actual institution of marriage that's terrible.
Well, when you talk to kids that come from broken homes, and they look at their parents and they see all this, and we're up to pretty high. People don't want to repeat that.
Yeah.
They're going,
I don't want that.
I don't want that. But then I think this is where the church needs to come in and show, well, here's what it can be. Here's what it can be.
Yeah.
So I'm against the anti-marriage move.
Well, and I think it's good too to ask, like, what's the alternative? So if you don't want what your parents had, the alternative is that you're not going to get married. And I often try to encourage people to look at the end of your life. Like, is that really what you want? If you want to be alone, if you want to not have children, if you want to not be in a relationship, but at the same time, then there's some of us who don't have that option. We do want to be in relationship, but it's just not happening for us.
Well, the problem there is our society has transitioned in its, at least from my generation, the normal way of people mating and coming together. Today, the number 2 way of getting married today is online, is meeting people online. Well, that wasn't even an option when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So the normal
Sorry, I have
way...
to check my eHarmony connections real quick. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But the normal way of meeting people, like most people in my generation, they met in college and got married. The average age of marriage was 23, 21. Well, now we're up to 29 and 26 for women. So it's a whole almost anywhere from 5 to 10 years after being out of college.
Yeah.
How many single people do you meet in your age group out in the workforce?
Yeah.
I mean, so your contacts start decreasing, the natural flow of meeting people, and so the internet has now become the new way. And of course, that has a host of problems in itself because it's brand new and we don't know how to figure it out and what to do with it.
Yeah. So what would be one thing that you would tell someone like myself, just why you love being married?
Just one thing?
Yeah, just one.
I think the companionship, I mean, just sharing your life with someone is just, I don't think you can replace that.
Well, and your wife's from Michigan, which is where I'm originally from, so that's a...
Well, she can't be perfect, can she?
Oh, well said. That one's in the can.